Hello everybody, this is Ranger Scott and I am going to show you speed sensors for a 5th gen VFR. This is specifically an 01 and my ECU pulled a code for number 11 for a speed sensor, and the factory service manual says it's either check your connection, and then you can also test the I think resistance, and I didn't really get into that. It hasn't really, I'll have to check again. I don't even know if it pulled the code again. I erased all the codes and I never got to check it, so I just went ahead and got one off of eBay. This is the stock one here, and I have a little over 50,000 miles. It's still in good shape. I mean, you could probably take it apart. Sorry, my camera. You can tell like little clamps there, but I'm not gonna even do that. This is aluminum housing, and then this is pushed in, and they got those little crimp spots or something there. This nylon nut, of course, comes off. You just get a really wide flathead screwdriver, stick it in straight, and twist it, and just keep doing that side to side, and eventually it'll pop off. It's a little worn on mine, but my speedometer was pretty accurate for, well, it was off. It's 5 high all the way up, but it didn't, the needle didn't bounce or anything. So of course it probably wouldn't, since it's electrical. It would probably lose connection and come back on. But anyways, I ordered another one. This one was off of eBay. It was off a 99 model, and the guy stated that it had less than 4,000 miles. It's like 3,900 or something. So it's basically brand new. The nylon nut is still good, nice, straight, no divots from the sprocket nut here. As you can see, it just sits right there, if you've ever wondered, and it just sends the electrical signal up to the speedometer. And you can actually take this off, leave it connected, and spin it by hand real fast, give it a quick jolt, and you'll see your speedometer move. You can this one is pretty loose, so I could spin it and it'd hit like 40-50 miles an hour. This one, you can hear that. The shaft is really loose. There's an actual seal there, just like you would see around the wheel bearings or something. It's pressed in. Sorry, my camera, I have it on macro. It's a crappy, the hell is this? It's a Nikon P100. It's not that good. Anyways, you can kind of see that seal there, and the shaft there moving. And there's gonna be movement even on a new one, but this one, the seal is a lot better. It's got a lot better resistance there. It still kind of has that popping noise, but I'm sure that's just free play on the shaft. But this one, you can really, so it may just be wearing out. Of course, I may hack this open just to see how it works. If that shaft goes in, and then it's like tooth gears, a gear here, and then a gear here, and then like a little circuit board, or what it is. So maybe one day I'll pop. This is just plastic there. Maybe I'll hack and slash it, because I'm probably gonna use it again. It'll just be a spare. It's the same wiring. This, you could probably pull one off of like an 07 model. They're probably the exact same. It's just recycled parts. And this is probably the same. The slave cylinder is the same. So that's a good thing. A bunch of parts were recycled. So I should have got. There was an 07 they were parting out, and I was gonna get a bunch of parts off that one and just kind of let it loose. That was months ago. But this one, he said less than 4,000 miles, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna Put some dielectrical grease in there and just plug her in and check for codes. I should have checked before I even did this, but oh well. I can always reset them, see if it comes on again. I really do not like a single connector on this bike. They're loose. You push it in and you can pull it in and out, and I don't think any of these connectors are that good. And that's probably why we have such bad electrical problems. Just when you press, like this is female right here, and then you got the males there, I can just picture the male going in and it's just not tight. It's not squeezing it, so it's just probably like touching here and then a little farther down and maybe touching there. It's not, you know, squeezing the whole male connector. So I can see like arcing, not really arcing because this wouldn't be a lot of voltage to this thing, but you know, just I don't like any of these connectors on this bike. Hell, probably those crimp connectors would probably be better than this. Everything's loose. I don't like that. I like everything to be tight. But anyways, so all you'd have to do is take the left fairing off here and take the left. Hell, you probably don't even have to take the left. Yeah, because it'd be easier if you undo the coolant reservoir, because this is jammed up in there and the connector's right here, so the reservoir would actually be in the way, as you can see. And I'm leaking here, so it's actually easier. You may be able to wrangle it doing that, so I don't know. But anyways, that's about it. I'm changing the oil right now, and I got a hell of a deal on this Rotella T6. I got 8 jugs of it for 15 bucks a pop. Well, everyone else is $27, $26.27, so it would just happen to be an AutoZone. I guess they didn't sell it at that one store, and they had it all on the table, and I bought it all. Well, I went back and bought it all after I realized that everyone else still had it for $26, so yay for me. That's really about it. That's the only code it would pull, was an 11, nothing else. So, you know, honestly, I don't know if you left the code and never fixed the sensor, if it affects engine performance, or if it just goes straight to the speedo gauge. Of course, well, speedo gauge, and then the pink wire, that's the signal wire. Oh yeah, actually it may actually do that, because I followed the schematics. The pink wire, it goes 2 directions. It goes to the ECU, and then it goes to the speedometer and splits off and goes to the odometer. So I guess it does do something if it goes to the computer. Yeah, I would think so, because like my vehicle used to be carbureted. It had a carbureted engine in it, and the speedometer was just a cable wire from the transfer case up to the speedometer. Now I have a fuel injected engine, so I had to install a speed read, or whatever you call it, on the back of the speedometer. It looks like a little glass cylinder, like teeny weeny, and it's on a metal frame. And if you ever look at the speedometer, you have the needle, the face with your miles per hour, kilometers, and on the back it kind of looks like a clock. It's like a cylinder. It's magnetic, and when that spins, it, I guess, creates a magnetic field. And then this reed, it's just real close, and it sits right there. And then I had to use the yellow wire, so that goes to that computer on the engine. So I believe that's for like the once you're in fifth gear, you know, the EGR system kicks in and all that exhaust crap. All that bunch of emission stuff. So I guess it would be the same on this one. The pink wire is the signal. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, I didn't run it without this installed, or without the old one installed, so I couldn't tell you. Maybe somebody will try that for giggles someday. I'm not. But that's it. I was just going to show you. Like I said, even with the code, who knows when the code was pulled. I mean when it threw it. I pulled the code probably, I don't know, last weekend. So who knows how long that was like that. But I mean, the bike ran like it always has run, and the speedometer always worked. I never had it turn off. The only time I had it turn off was when I kept blowing the fuse for the gauge. My push starting button was getting stuck, and it wouldn't come all the way back. I'd push it in, start the bike, and when I let off, it'd get stuck about halfway. Well, the starter wasn't still spinning, but it was still, I guess, making contact. And then as soon as I could take off slow and I'd be fine, but if I, got on her and got the RPMs up, I guess it'd send the voltage, the amps through the switch, and it kept blowing the gauge cluster fuse. Couldn't ever figure that out. Finally, I figured out when I left my finger on the starter button, noticed that it wasn't going all the way back. So if that ever happens to you, that's probably what it is. Just take the control housing apart and just clean all the connectors and put some dielectrical grease in there, and you should be good to go. I'm probably going to order new control housings anyways, because they're fading from the sun, and the connectors and all that. So the left one's easy. The right one's going to be a turd because it's got the cables for the throttle. That's a whole nother adventure. But this is pretty much it. I guess I've bored y'all enough. I'll shut up, get this installed, finish the oil, and go get my other bike and work on that one. So I have been doing exciting things. Well, see y'all later.